going on, Falcon fan? This Barber Kundo coming back at you with another video. Today is Falcon Fan Talk Wednesday, keys to victory for a game on Sunday against another division opponent in the Carolina Panthers. Yes, the Carolina Panthers are 1-4 on the season. However, they are still a division opponent. All these division games are tough. So the Atlanta Falcons don't need to go in there thinking that they got this game in the bag. And so, as fans, I want you guys to feel still the same way. I know you guys can remember last year's game in Carolina when they had like 5,000 fans in the stand, and they came away with the win in the end of the game. So this is a tough game for the Atlanta Falcons. They need to come in. They need to be ready to go. And I hope you guys agree with me with that. We're going to talk about the keys to victory. And you know what the Falcons need to be doing going into week 6. We know the Atlanta Falcons definitely are not where they want to be on this season. The Atlanta Falcons could easily be, 0-4. They could easily be 4-0. It's just that's the nature of the NFL. It's really what they talk about when they say any given Sunday, because that's what it really boils down to. I mean, you can definitely win and lose games. You take away some plays here, take away some plays there, calls here, calls there. And it's all about the margins. That's why you got to be ready to play. You got to take opportunities of plays when you get a chance to do that. And I think for the most part this year, our Atlanta Falcons have done that. They have took the opportunities when they got them. No such thing as luck, because you make your own luck when you playing a sport. But you have to have opportunities. Nobody goes up and give you your 6 points or your 3 points or the turnovers, and it's all taken. So if you had the opportunity to make something happen, that's what Atlanta Falcons been doing over these first 5 games of the season. And they're 3-2. They're the leader in the division, going into another division opponent. And it's the opportunity to really, make leeways in that. We have 2 of our opponents actually playing each other this weekend. So, we can gain ground on that. And you go look at some of their schedule. I think some of the schedules of our division opponents starting to get a little bit tougher than ours. I think for the Atlanta Falcons, we had a tough 5-game stretch to start the season. Then it was going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say easy, because no game in NFL is easy, but it'll be a little bit more, opportunity for Atlanta Falcons to start to feel themselves and be able to get in games. Those first 5 games was brutal. You look at the primetime games we had the week on the Thursday night football, playing teams that always give Atlanta Falcons, tough opportunity to go out and get a win. That's what happened. So, guys, we're going to talk about that today. But, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know I drop another video. Please hit the like button, so I know you guys out here that talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come and hear me talk about. That's right, these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, what I want to say to about this week's game is, to me, I don't want to say this is a trap game and like that, because this is, like I said, it's pros, right? Ain't no such thing as a trap game in NFL. You go to college, you look at that. We started what happens the weekend. A lot of those teams, they probably went in and thought they had a win in the bag, and they kind of got caught up with you might want to consider a trap game. But when we're talking about professional sports, there's no trap games in professional sports. Everybody can play. They all professionals. They all get paid, right? They all, plan for their livelihood and things like that. Grown men out there trying to get the job done. Those guys could lose their jobs and could be out of football and things like that. So they going out and try to get a win. So there's no such thing as a trap game in the NFL to me. So in my eyes, when I look at a game like this weekend, focus game. The Atlanta Falcons need to focus on themselves, focus on some of the things that they need to do to improve, to get better. And don't worry about what the Carolina Panthers doing. They're having whatever issues they're having with their team. They're trying to figure out their quarterback position, things like that. So we don't want to be talking about, this is a sorry team and things like that. We need to worry about what Atlanta Falcons think they need to fix on. Because like I said, to start the show, Atlanta Falcons could easily be 0-4. This is where they could be 4-0. right? You have to work on some of the things because you're not playing your best football right now. You're going to be playing your best football in November and December. But the way you get that, the issues that you had on film, the prior weeks, you want to be improving in those and not, continue to make the same mistakes. You want to create a consistent chemistry. The offense was dynamic, especially in the passing game, but it wasn't that good in the run game, for an example, right? Our run defense is still questionable a little bit. We got Chuba Herbert coming in, who's averaging 100 yards a game. So those kind of things you got to look at. They got a veteran quarterback, Andy Dalton, who's probably seen all the defenses that you can that he's seen. The guy who's been in the playoffs many a times, so he has the experience. So you want to have that mindset when you're going in and not get complacent. And this is what I call focus, right? Yes, they're 1-4, but the Atlanta Falcons need to be focused, and they should come away with the win. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. EQ said, play like a Super Bowl. Exactly. You want to get better every week, right? We don't want to see the Atlanta Falcons go out and put up 509 yards passing game, look so dynamic on offense, and then come out and can't score again, right? So you want to see improvement every week. It's not going to be 509 yards. You don't expect something like that to happen. You want to maybe see something more balanced this week. And if we can see something like that, that would be great. But for Atlanta Falcons to come in, they need to be focused. A focused game for me. That's the way I'm looking at it. And I hope all you guys are looking at it the same way. All right, so let's get into the keys this week for our Atlanta Falcons. Offensive keys. Like I said, we had an explosion. Finally, kind of had a feeling it was coming sometime soon. They were just too talented on the offensive side of the ball with the skill positions that they had. You knew Kirk Cousins was gonna finally kind of figure it out. I think he was talking about something finally clicked for him, and you can see that it started to work for him. So now it's about continuing it, right? Starting to create consistency, starting to create a chemistry and things like that. My first key for Atlanta Falcons, yes, they passed for 509 yards, but for this offense to be the most dynamic it can be, they have to be able to establish the run game. The run game has been, missing a couple of games now, with the New Orleans Inks, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the Kansas City Chiefs. For like 3 games, the run game has not been where we wanted to be, right? To be honest, the only time the run game really looked good was in that first week against the second week against the Philadelphia Eagles. So those are things that we got to work on. The run game got to get going. Kirk Cousins is dynamic play action quarterback. So we want to be able to utilize that run game to its best of his abilities. And that's what the Atlanta Falcons need to do. They need to establish the run game. They need to be able to go out and they need to make something happen. So my first key on offense this week is to start to establish that run offense back to where it needs to be. We got 2 dynamic running backs. Yes, they've been playing really good in pass protections. They've been really good on outlets, passes to Kirk Cousins. But what we need to see them to go downhill, be able to start create those explosive plays in the run game, which in turn will open up more opportunities, more easy opportunities for Kirk and his pass catchers in the passing game. So that'll be my first key. Be able to establish a run. That's what they need to do. My second key is simple. I talked about it. They need to start building on the chemistry, right? Kirk he's starting to get the timing down with his receivers, know where they're going to be, trusting those guys and things like that. You can see that that transformation start to take place on Thursday Night Football. You want to see it to continue to build the chemistry. That passing through to Darnell Mooney, that seam route for a touchdown, that's what I'm talking about. Because if you look at that play, Darnell Mooney did not look open, but Kirk trusted him to be what he needed to be. He threw a slight back shoulder throw away from the safety, and Darnell Mooney went up and made the catch. He made Kirk right. So that's the kind of things that when you start to trust your receivers, start to be able to give them opportunities to make plays, and that's what he did. So that's what I'm talking about. Build that chemistry, continue to build on it, start to develop it. We like to see he got Kyle Pitts involved in the game. We need to see that grow more as well. because that'll just open up the offense even more. The more you get your playmakers the ball, for they can do what they do, is always going to work out. So for me, to continue to build that chemistry, it's going to be huge for the Atlanta Falcons. They can do that. Kirk Cousins, with his trio of weapons that he got. I mean, and I don't want to get away from Ray McCloud because he has been making plays as well this offseason. But looks like the go-to guy is definitely Darnell Mooney. But don't want to take away from Drake because Drake is the Mr. Consistency. Drake was targeted 13 times. They only had one drop. That just shows you who he is. The ball getting his vicinity, he's going to catch it. So you love that. Kyle Pitts just need opportunities, man. You get him the ball in space, he's going to make plays. So I like to see that. EQ says Captain Kirk had a good press conference and was talking about that chemistry. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You got to build that chemistry, and it's just going to grow and grow week in and week out. And like I said, November, December, man, we start saying, there we go. That's that offense we've been looking for. That's what we were talking about. That's what we've been longing for a while here. You want to get back to when Matty Ice was there. You guys remember that. We knew Atlanta Falcons was going to score points. There was no doubt in our mind. It was the defense that we was worried about. But if we can get something like that to go back into when Matty Ice and Julio and Mohamed Sanu and those guys were doing their things, that's what we want to see. And hopefully we can get something like that. And then the last thing that we really want to talk about on offense is penalties, man. The Atlanta Falcons offense got to stop shooting itself in the foot. They was able to overcome a couple of penalties for touchdowns on Thursday night, but 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. If you get put behind the change on 1st and long, 1st and 20, things like that, more than times out of 10, you're not going to be able to score. You're going to be probably maybe even put yourself out of field goal range, but you definitely for you to put 6 points on the board. So penalties is got to get fixed, right? And some of the penalties are questionable. I agree with that, but penalties on the offensive side of the ball, holding penalties, false starts, offensive pass interference, whatever penalty they're calling on our Atlanta Falcons, we need to clean it up because we know we was able to overcome that definitely on Thursday night, but we got to be able to do better than that. What's up, James? Yep. So that's what I'm talking about. We got to be able to do better than that. Penalties. So my 3 keys on offense this week is establish that run game. Got to be able to do that. Get back in the play action game. Yes, the passing game looked good, but we got to be able to do that. Continue to build on that chemistry. We've seen it, on display on Thursday night. 2 100-yard pass catchers and Kyle and Darnell Mooney and Drake London. Kyle Pitts had over 80-something yards. That's what you like to see, man, right? So we want to be able to continue to build on that chemistry would be great. Last thing is we got to clean up the penalties. The offense has been penalized way too much, and a lot of games have been hurting us, to a point where, I think in the Kansas City game, it's cost us the game because we scored in that game. But it was called back on a penalty. So we got to be able to clean up our penalties. I like penalties, when you're aggressive, right? But penalties, especially like false starts and things like that, those are just unacceptable. So hopefully offense can clean up, penalties, and kind of understand what the ref's going to be calling in the game. You got to get to understand early on what they're going to emphasize on, because a lot of ref, crews emphasize on certain things, during games, and you got to be able to key that on. Penalties is something that we cannot have. And guys, that's are my offensive keys for this week. James said the passing game looked good. Seam routes, yes, seam routes. Darnell, Kyle Pitts, you're 100% sure. Defense, 8 in the box against us. Yep. Yeah, you're right. But for the running game, no doubt. Yes, they're stacking the box, and that's why the passing game was so great, because Todd Bowles kind of dared Kirk Cousins to throw the ball around the field. That's what he kind of He wanted to try to take away our run game, and he wanted to see, for our passing game. And guess what? That's what it did. Who do you want to trade for Reddick? Yeah, man, we need a pass. We need a pass rush, 100%, 100%. Speaking of that, let's get into our defensive keys for this week. You talk about defensive keys, and so you talk about pass rush. That's going to be my first key. Atlanta Falcons bottom in the lead in pass rush right now. I don't think that's a surprise, but what we've been seeing. Raheem mentioned, one thing about which is true. We have not been in games where, we just pin our ears back and try to get after the quarterback because we either been, trailing in games where they're going to try to, control the clock and not going to pass the ball a lot, or one score game. So it's been a lot of instances where we're not being able to get our pass rush off and be able to call those, those pressures and things like that, right? So, but that's no excuse. We got to be able to get out the quarterback. We got to be able to get him off his spot, and hopefully we can do that. With Andy Dalton, another guy that's going to be in the pocket, is going to be where he's going to be. We have played a lot of mobile quarterbacks these first 5 games. That's no excuse, but it does, affect the pass rush because guys know how to, evade the pass rush. They know how to get out of the way. They know how to get rid of the ball. And these first 5 guys definitely was guys that you consider to do that. So, but the pass rush is going to be huge for these Atlanta Falcons this week. My second key is definitely stopping the run. I just talked about Chuba Hubbard to start the video off. He's been averaging over 100 yards a game. That's going to be what they're going to do. Atlanta Falcons' weakness right now is stopping the run. Their strength is running the ball. It's no secret what the Carolina Panthers are going to try to come out and do to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, some teams try to get smart and try to go away from what their strength is. If they do that, they just dumb and try to pass the ball, because I think that is working in our favor if they do that with our secondary. So if they want to, get away from the run, I'm cool with that. But that is their strength. So I think if they're smart, they're going to try to pound Chuba Hubbard as much as they can. Guy who's been averaging over 100 yards a game, man. It's just that's how good he's been. So you want to be able to see, can we fix those issues we had in the run game. Our second half been way better than our first half. Stopping the run. If you're looking, at the numbers and things like that. But we can't start off slow. We got to start to be better than that. I think Rook Roro deserved another week. The way he played in the game, I thought his presence was really shown. So the guy was drafted to come here. He delivered to me. I think he deserved another week to be active on the roster. And we'll have to see what they do with Contavious Street, who they actually set out the week prior. But yeah, I just think that we definitely got to be able to stop the run. James said Landman is coming back. That's going to be a big help to our run game on the defensive side of the ball. That guy is a downhill thumper. He knows how to field holes. That's his superpower, is being a old school linebacker coming down. The guy had over 110 tackles last year. That's what he does. He had a lot of tackle for loss. So yes, Nate Landman coming back. I'm not sure if he'll be back this week. He has that 21-day window to get back before they have to actually put him on the IR for the rest of the season. So he might be back for the Seattle game, but we'll just have to see how he progresses. Could be back for this game, but just don't know. But yes, Nate Landman coming back is going to be huge for the Atlanta Falcons to do what they need to do. So stopping the run, Chuba Hubbard has been dynamic this whole entire season. That's one of their bright spots on their team. So Atlanta Falcons need to be able to stop the run. It's just that simple. Like I said, some teams get smart in their head and be like, we're going to go away from our strength. They think we're going to run it. We're going to try to pass it. If they do that, we're going to welcome them to do that. But I think that the Carolina are going to play to their strength, Chuba Herbert is what they've been really good at, keeping them in game, trying to keep, the opposing offense off the field, controlling the clock. So I think they're going to run the ball. Atlanta Falcons need to be really good in the run game this week. And that's one of the improvement for this team is being able to stop the run. The last key for me this week on the defensive side of the ball is no explosive plays, right? They need to be able to limit explosive plays. Atlanta Falcons really been doing really good job at that. I think they ranked third in the league on defense right now of allowing explosive plays of 20 yards or more, which is awesome. That's one thing you want to see. They was able to get a explosive play in the run game last week against us. But other than that, Atlanta Falcons have really been really good not giving up explosive plays. So you want to make them go. Right this year, what we really have seen from the Atlanta Falcons is that bend don't break defense. They get in the red zone, they get in the high red zone, and they'll limit them to field goals and no touchdowns. So that's what we want to continue to see. That they've been playing. They've been the weirdest thing about Atlanta Falcons. We've been inviting the run, right? We keep putting those two high safeties up, limiting those special plays I'm talking about, but you're inviting to run because you're letting them run into your light boxes. And that's where our linebackers, what I talked about, a guy like Nate Lemon coming back, need to be sound in their tackling, come up and make plays. That's what we need to see. So I'm really going to see what this Atlanta Falcons team is going to do. James said, let Contavious Street stay inactive. I agree with that. I also think Brandon Darlis needs to see, can he get the opportunity as well, see what he can do. Let those rookies filter those guys in. But I agree, Aurora really need to play again this week. So that's what I want to see from that. So let's see. What we got here? James said Troy can be in on pass coverage. I like what you're saying, but man, the guy had 13 tackles the week prior. I don't know. I think they can go three linebacker package because I like him on sideline to sideline as well. So Nate Lamon is better coming downhill, but Troy Anderson coming sideline to sideline, and what he was able to do to Alvin Kamara to affect that game against New Orleans was huge. So I don't just want him in on third downs, being pass coverage. I think he's developing. He's not a downhill linebacker like a Lemon is, but having that many tackles in the game and making the plays he made in that game was really huge for us. So I know they flirted around having three linebackers on the field at the same time, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. Maybe this is they could, because you said it was multiple, right? They might go to a 4-3 this week and have those three linebackers and bring in that 4-man front to stop that Chuba Herbert, that run game a little bit. So that's what I would like to see. If you're going to talk about Troy Anderson, the difference between him and Nate Lemon, I just like his sideline to sideline, and I think he's getting better and better. The way he's starting to read offenses and come downhill. So I think he needs to be in the game. But guys, those are my keys on defense. Like I said, we're going to be able to establish pass rush, which has been non-existent all season long for our Atlanta Falcons. We got Andy Dalton, who's going to be a statue back there. Maybe we can get something, going there. You want to be able to stop the run game. Chuba Herbert, we don't want to limit him. Don't let him wreck the game and control the clock for our offense, not be able to get on the field. And then no explosive plays, continue to do that. They have did a great job in that all seasons. So you want to continue, no explosive plays. This is what we're going to do. This is a focus game. Just like I said, this is not a trap game. There's no such thing as trap games in NFL. Everybody professionals, any given Sunday. It's a game you come in and focus. Yes, you're playing a team that's 1-4, but they are a division team that beat us last year in Carolina when we were still trying to ride for the playoffs. We all of us need to remember that when they had like 5,000 fans in the stadium, in 5,000 fans in the stand. So we cannot take this team lightly, and I don't think our team is going to do that whatsoever. All right, so those are my defensive keys. Let's go to special teams, guys. Which, be honest with you, our special team was a little disappointing on Thursday night and maybe Sunday as well. I thought that, you know, Sunday was better, of course, because I think special teams and defense won the game against the Aints on us for us on Sunday. But Thursday, our kick coverage was terrible. It was no other different, no other way to slice it, man. Our kick coverage was really bad. It was not good at all. Marquise Williams really good at making those adjustments, fixing those things. So I'm not really too concerned about that. Some guys had to get elevated up, and when you get elevated up to be at the roster, maybe don't need to be on the kickoff team, and it kind of affected some explosive runs that they had. But you got to put the right guys out there. If you had to put starters out there to make sure, plays are being made in the kicking game, they already get the ball at the 30 if it goes in the end zone. But, getting the ball at the 30, 35 or 40-yard lines, they only need like 20 yards, man. They ain't field goal range with today's kicker. So you want to be able to – your kick coverage need to be better. It's just that simple. I think what teams need to start doing is putting the ball in that little spot between the goal line and the 20 to try to pin them deep, man, because giving teams the ball on the 30-yard line is just crazy to me. Because now, it used to be the 25, used to be the 20, then it went to the 25, now it's the 30. So it's you're not, and then like I said, the field goal kickers are getting better and better, in today's league. So you're already like giving up a field goal now. They get a couple of first downs. So we got to do better in our kick coverage. So that's going to be my first key. Our kick coverage got to do better. My second key is going to be field position. Field position is always huge in any game, right? Being able to pin guys deep in the kicking game, make them go the long way. I just talked about getting the ball at the 30-yard line. If you can get them to go within, between the 10 and the end zone is awesome. You want to make people drive on you, right? If you do what I said, you limit those explosive plays. Now, if they want to score, they got to go the distance. And what you're betting on, if they're going to make a mistake here and there, and you be able to get them off the field. So field position is always going to be one of my keys on special teams, because I think it's one of the most important things in games that a lot of people overlook about great field position. Remember what I always said about offense, right? Offense always end in the kick. Always. It always end in the kick. You're kicking for an extra point, you're kicking for a field goal, or you punting the ball, right? That's what you want to be able to do offense. You're not going to convert every third down. If you do, awesome, great day, but you're not going to convert every third down, right? So you're going to punt sometimes. So when you punt, you can set your defense up, good field position, and see they can get a 3 and out, and you flip the field that way. That's what we want to see. So field position always going to be on my board for my keys for the week. Then last but not least, man, our kick return game. If we need to get something going there, they keep kicking the ball in the end zone on the kickoff. It's really nothing you can do about that. More like going to be a touchback. You getting plus 30 yards by them just kicking the end zone anyway. So you want to be able to use the analytics in that and be smart about it. You can't get 30 yards when catching the ball in the end zone. Don't bring it out. So kickoff return, I understand, not being able to create any explosives there. Punt, I think our punt return could be better. You guys recall a couple years ago, Avery Williams was the best punt returner per yard, per average yards, per the season. You want to be able to get back to that. But you got to give them opportunities, right? So first of all, our defense got to be able to start to get off the field on third down. And then our punt coverage got to be, our punt return coverage need to be a little bit better, and open up lanes for Avery. But that's what we need to see in our kick return game, right? Those we seen in week 2 how dynamic special teams can be, because it gave us a win, right? Young Way Cool and that formal recovery, that was gifted to us by the Inks. Catching the ball at the 2-yard line. I have never seen that before, but yes, it happened. So special team is always crucial. People sleep on special teams, but if you understand football, when they talk about the 3 phases of the game, that's what they're talking about: offense, defense, and special teams. And guys, we've seen it firsthand. Special teams has been really, really important for our Atlanta Falcons this season already. Younghoe Koo been huge in kicking, hitting in the kicking game, putting points on the board. He has won a game for us against the Aints, and he took us in overtime on Thursday night. So the special team is key. It's 100% key. So we don't want to sleep on that phase of the game, right? So guys, to end this week, Falcon fan talk. Just reemphasize some of the things the Falcons need to work on. It's no secret. If you look at the numbers speak for themselves. Our run defense have been not good. It's actually been a somewhat of an unpleasant surprise of not being able to stop the run. I thought they'd be better than that. They was a whole lot better last year. Some with the same personnel, so it has to be the scheme or something like that. It's not clicking with these guys. Now they did have Calais Campbell and they had Bud Dupree as well, so that could have some effect to it. But I think we have the personnel to be able to stop the run. So they need to be able to start do better in that. It's no other way around it. We talk, to get blue in our face, talk about our pass rush. Pass rush is just non-existent. Looking at numbers right now, I think we're behind the numbers we were last year. Being able to put pressure on quarterbacks. But it always comes with some content. Some context when you start talking about that. And what I mean by that is when you talk about context, we have played some mobile quarterbacks these first 5 games, right? These guys move around. They're hard to tackle. It's hard to get them on the ground. And every guy that we played is somewhat that way. Besides David Carr, who's not going to move a lot, but, he was getting the ball a lot fast. But, that was a really good. Go back and look at the second half of that Inks game. How well the Falcons played was tremendous. Now Taysom Hill didn't play. I can't say that he was out because for some reason the Atlanta Falcons cannot stop Taysom Hill. I don't know why, but that really changed their game and their way they were being able to do some things in that game. All right. When we talk about the offensive side of the ball, yes, we all pleasantly happy and surprised what we've seen on Thursday Night Football, but they can't be a one-hitter quitter, right? It's got to be consistent. It need to be something that we can see from week to week to week, and we start to see build, right? When you start watching, the greatest show on turf, and I'm not comparing our team to that, but, those guys, they was going to be able to produce week in and week out, right? You seen Peyton Manning, they run the offense, he used to run. They was going to be able to produce week in and week out. You see what Patrick Mahomes did when Tyreek Hill was there. You knew they was going to put up 30 points week in, week out, right? That's what we want to be able to create here in Atlanta. You want to be able to create that chemistry. You have the talent. You have the talent to be able to do it with the sitting caller, with the weapons you got on the outside, with the offensive line, with the complement of the run game. So you have all those pieces. So we want to be able to see this offense take off and continue to, and improve and build on what they was able to do on last Thursday night. So those are some of the things in my eyes that the Atlanta Falcons need to be focused on in this focus game this week. And penalties is one thing. Come in and it's a business trip, dog. It's a business trip. Yes, they're 1-4. Atlanta Falcons should win this game, right? I'm not sugarcoating that. They should win this game. And they should win it easily, right? Especially if they want to be one of the teams that we think they are. So we're going to see, but it is a division game. You're not going to take them lightly, but you need to come out and take care of business. So, guys, let me know what you think about my keys today. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. I want to hear your keys if you think I missed out on something or was I spot on, right? We'll see, right? But that's all I have today. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy Rakundo coming back at you with another video. Peace.